Yeah, I like The Nest, Stephen. You know, I didn't love it, but I liked it. It was one of the better films I saw last year. I think it was one of the, I can't remember, it was either one of the very last I saw, but 4 theaters closed, or one of the very first I saw after they reopened. Um, and I thought it was kind of creepy. You know, I love, I keep calling her Carolyn Coon. I don't want to make that mistake again.
Carrie
Coon,
Coon.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I made it when Scott and I did the Zoom cast on The Leftovers, but we haven't done that.
No, I think you wrote a Facebook comment or something, and then I jumped in and said,
Oh,
I
and you
think
corrected it. Yeah.
you're talking about the author of 1988.
Yeah. She was great. Jude Law, who I'm not, I want to do my Sean
One of our
Penn
finest
joke, one of our
actors.
finest actors. I do that every time. I'm not crazy about him, but he was pretty good. And it was just sort of a creepy, hard to figure out film.
I found, I wished it was my original idea, but whoever said it, I read it before I said it, which was, it was a horror movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't a horror movie. It just had all the things you mentioned about how the other one we're just talking about. I'm thinking about ending things. It seemed like a horror movie at times. Well, in The Nest, you get all this stuff that's okay. This is a horror movie. The husband's going to turn out to be like Rochester, maybe, and the house is so big and empty, and it's just like those houses in horror movies. And they kept making you think that something terrible was going to happen, and nothing did. We know what happened was fairly matter of fact, in a way of telling a story of that family. And by that time, I was sucked in, and I did wait for something scary to happen, but I think I was happy when it didn't, because I saw what they were doing, and I was fascinated by it. And Carrie Coon can't do any wrong for me, so I have to admit that too.
I'm trying to look up. I quoted, man, thought I found it. There was a line in the film that I quoted on my Trump film thread that Jude Law said right towards the end of it, when he had that disastrous night. Everything was falling apart, and he was in the cab.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking to the cab driver, and the cab driver said, "What do you do for a living?" And whatever his answer was, I said, that describes Trump, you know. So I don't know if that was intentional or not. I wish I could find it.
What, in a nutshell, I hate that phrase, but is the movie essentially about? Like, what would I need to know? I know absolutely nothing about it except that Carrie Coon is in it. That's literally all I know about The Nest.
All you need to know.
That's all you need to know, right?
It's about families, and
When was it
specifically
set in the late 80s, right?
I think it's hard. I don't remember.
I think so.
It focuses on the husband and wife, but the kids matter. And I actually found the quote from whoever said it. It looks like a horror movie, swims like a horror movie, and quacks like a horror movie, but it isn't a horror movie. So what the hell is it? Okay, well, it wasn't a horror movie. That's what it was. For me, it was a family drama. And it's not a spoiler to say it has an ending. And I can say that I found the ending something resembling hope, considering the whole movie. My wife rolled her eyes and said, "No way." For what it's worth. If you ever see it, you'll say, wonder if he was right or she was right.
Okay.
Phil, what did you think? Without giving away the ending.
Sorry, I became obsessed with finding this stupid quote.
Oh.
Yeah, it was just, you know, he moved the family to this sort of living above their means, right? And moved them to this country estate, even though he couldn't afford it. And she knew that. And just their family life deteriorated. I had one of those classic teenage daughters who just was going to parties and didn't get along with her parents. And the son, does he get killed in it? Am I mixing it up with something else? There was a son too, right?
Yes, there was.
Did he get killed?
I don't think he did.
Okay, I'm probably thinking.
I don't recall anything dramatic happening.
Okay, I think I'm mixing it up with Killing of a Sacred Deer, which I watched this year. And yeah, it just had this creepy atmosphere, and it was kind of a domestic horror film. And you know, it's by, what's the other film he made, Stephen? Which I think I like The Nest better. I know the other one is very acclaimed. Marcy.
And I don't have it sitting here, but I've seen it.
Yeah, it's about cults. It's about a cult.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember it though.
And I think I like this one a little better. And it's hard to describe, Scott.
No, that's okay. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think I'll watch it. It sounds, you're both convincing me that it's quite good.
One thing I liked. Oh, go ahead.
No, go Steve.
Oh, one thing I liked, it's sort of to the side, but much as I love Carrie Coon, she's got her own look. In this movie, she plays the beautiful wife, almost a trophy wife.
Wow.
I love Carrie Coon.
Yeah.
I think she's beautiful, but she's not the typical trophy wife of actresses. So I love that because nobody ever said that's just Carrie Coon. No. She was beautiful. She had long blonde hair.
I did see the picture of it. She looked very different.
Yeah.
So Carrie Coon, apart from The Leftovers, was it Gone Girl? Was it called Gone Girl? Was that
Gone Girl? Yeah.
What else has she been in? Anything else of note?
She was
Fargo.
Yeah, the detective in season 3 of Fargo, and she was excellent. She was the best. I didn't like season 3 nearly as much as 2, but she was great at it. Oh, I'm just going to say, Steve was talking about trophy wife. The most memorable scene in the movie, I think, was, where Ben Affleck, where Jude Law's got her out to dinner so he can impress either future business associates or former business associates, and she disrupts the whole dinner. She basically says, "This is why I'm here, and fuck all of you," and she ends up leaving.
That's a terrific scene. I agree.
It is, yeah. Sorry, what else?
Wow, I got to see it.
Can you think of it other than those things? I can't think of anything that she's done. Those 4
Do you guys have a favorite Carrie Coon moment in The Leftovers? That's all I know of Carrie Coon.
I know what Stevens is.
Last scene.
Everybody's.
I think I post that on a regular basis. Her monologue.
Right. Yeah, that's amazing.
The tear going down. Oh man, I love that scene.
The first scene of hers, which totally blew me away, because I didn't know what to make of her early in the series. Like you couldn't tell at very first of how central she was going to be. Like she just, I remember, showed up at a rally and was talking to the mayor or something, and you knew she was one of the, you'd heard a little bit of a backstory that she lost the rest of her family or something. But and I know it's kind of the obvious scene, but I've been stunned every time I watch it when, I think it was episode 6, season 1, where she basically pays the hooker to come and shoot her. I just I've always been astonished by that scene. I love it so much. I know Phil will probably agree with me on this. In some ways, I wish it was maybe something different than Slayer they're playing. I mean, it makes total sense on the one hand, but you almost wish it had been something maybe taking a tip from Scorsese or something, maybe something a little more weird or subtle than that.
Or just don't worry about matching the mood so much. Pick a better song.
Well, yeah. I mean, it kind of worked as for what it was, but I just thought that was, I think, for me, when the series completely turned around, I was like, okay, I'm definitely watching something special here, because I've never seen something like that on a TV show before. A woman paying another woman to shoot her just as a way of dealing with her personal grief or something. And obviously she's wearing the bulletproof gear. She's not going to die or whatever, but there's that danger. It's a remarkable scene. I love it.
Did you say season 6, Scott?
No, episode 6, I think, in season 1.
Okay, yeah, because it came much earlier than that. I think my favorite moment for her, in a way, was when the guilty remnants, remember they went around town with the mannequins?
Oh, yeah.
And she came in and her whole family was there, the mannequins, and she completely broke down.
That was incredible.
It was a scary breakdown, and you could just see how much it affected her. I know.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was great. She had just had so many. The monologue is not my favorite. I know it is considered one of the great passages in television history. She had so many great moments in those first few seasons for me.
Scott, what you said about at some point in episode 6, realized this was something. I think that's something that we get from TV series that we don't necessarily get from movies. If you're watching a movie and it's 20 minutes long, 30 minutes long, and then something happens and you go, oh, I guess I like this movie. To me, that doesn't happen as often as when you're watching a series and you're on episode 6 and you're thinking, do I really want to keep watching this? And then something happens and you say, oh, I guess I do want to watch this.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I told
Yep.
Phil, I only
Sure.
watched The Sopranos. You'll be surprised, Stephen, for the first time. I think it was 2019. It might have even been early
Yeah.
this year. I can't remember. And I liked I think it was the first 2 episodes quite a bit, but I was kind of like, this is good, but I feel like I sort of anticipated it would be exactly like this. And then I think it was the episode where, and a lot of people have actually said this, where he took his daughter, drove her to college or something like that. And all of a sudden it's like, wow, like that was like, I was completely blown away by it. And yeah, just like from there on, it had a different, I just had a different response to it. So, and that does make sense to me. In a long form TV series, you might have to sort of wade through some of it at first.
Series for me that really brings that home is The 100, where I want to tell people to watch it, but it was on CW. I don't know if you guys know the CW up there, but it's the channel that has all the teenager shows.
Mm.
And so, and its plot is 100 teenagers are sent down to post-apocalyptic Earth to do a Lord of the Flies thing. And the first few episodes are pretty much what you'd think from what I just described. The kids are all beautiful, and you get the idea.
Mm.
And I'm thinking, okay, I was told this was good, but, and then in the 4th episode, to spoil something here, in the space thing that they've left, they're running out of air and the decision has to be made. We're going to have to kill 300 people because otherwise we'll all die.
Mm.
And I'm thinking, this is the CW, this is the show. I'm not going to do that. And then, damn if they don't. They put them all in a room and they take the air out of it and we watch them die.
Wow.
300 of them. Now, in the context of the whole show, 300 is nothing. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of big batches of people die. But that was the moment when I said to myself, it wasn't that it made it good, but it took it beyond, I'm not really going to watch this show about
What you expected, or
Isn't The Leftovers 3% of the world's population?
I thought it was 2. I can't remember.
Okay.
You probably know. You watched it more recently than I did.
Because
So.
I was thinking these guys got together and said, we're going to do The Leftovers, but it's going to be 10 times better.
I always loved this. It's silly. I used to listen to like Leftovers podcasts when I was really knee deep in the show and stuff. I would do that sometimes with a series like that. I'll listen to the podcast after I've watched the episodes. But one of the funny theories about that was that the 2% or the 3%, whatever, were actually the only ones who survived. And you're watching a show of all the dead people. So,
That's sort of her final monologue in a way.
is it? Oh,
Well, she broaches that idea that the people that this. She
Yes.
said, what about the 2% who lost 98% of the world or something like that? She turns it upside down.
Stephen, just as that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Phil. Well,
I'm just going to say, I was just going to say that would make a great list, what you guys are talking about. All the shows I've ever liked have had that moment. For me to go back and say, okay, what was it, Mad Men? What was the moment? What was it for Breaking Bad? They've all had them, or episodes.
Yeah, and it does make a lot more sense, as Steven says, for TV than movies. I mean, yeah, it totally makes sense.
Movies don't work that way.
Yeah.